Out in my garden, it's a lovely place to go. Out in my garden, watching nature grow. My garden is the place I go to let my troubles go. So let's go in the garden and see what we should know.
It is time for Ken Neitzert in the Garden, brought to you by Neitzert's Greenhouse and Florist. And we've given you grief all year long because you didn't bring strawberries in. I don't think you did. Right?
Yeah, well, I didn't have any.
Yeah. Hey, a couple of weeks ago we were talking about melons. You didn't bring any in, but you redeemed yourself today.
I did.
With this wonderful. This is a great tasting melon.
Yeah. I picked.
Very juicy.
Yeah.
Is that rude to talk on the radio and eat?
I don't know radio etiquette.
There you go.
Well, I don't know etiquette.
Yeah. It doesn't matter about radio or not.
Yeah.
On National Radio Day, so.
Yeah.
Explain the melon.
Well,
how do you? No.
Pardon?
What melon is this?
This is a
Melanus.
the variety.
Melanus edinus.
Yeah. This is a cantaloupe, and I can't remember the exact variety off the top of my head. And this one's a small one. It's probably 8 inches in diameter. We picked 20 or 30 of them this weekend.
Wow.
And there's more.
How many plants?
About 17.
Okay.
What I did is planted a row of 17, and then 2 weeks later I planted another row of 17, and then another week later, a couple weeks later I've got some coming for till the middle of September probably. And the nice thing, I know how to determine if a cantaloupe's ready to pick. You roll it around, you move it and look at where the stem attaches to the plant, and if it's starting to separate and crack, it's ready. If you try and push that stem off and you push relatively firmly and it doesn't come off, it's still too green. Now, if you wait too long, you usually get a rotten spot on the ground, and that all you have to do is cut that out, or the flesh on the inside gets way too soft and mushy. This is just about right. It's nice and firm, but I mean, you can't hardly eat it without dribbling something over your fingers or out your mouth. So
that's a perfect cantaloupe.
Yes, it is. And I like it. This one I just picked last night, and it's just been setting out. It's not cold. I like it that way the best. You can put it it will go in a refrigerator to keep it, and it lasts longer. But a cold melon is, I don't like it quite as well as room temperature.
Yeah.
But
good stuff. Thanks for bringing it in.
And it's great finger food. Mm-hmm. And I like to eat it the way I did. You slice off, you cut the melon in half, scrape the guts out of it with a spoon, and then slice off about a 2-inch slice, and then take a knife and carve the rind off. And I find I use my fillet fish knife because it's got a narrow blade, because most big knives that you would use are wide enough. They don't curve fast enough that you can take that.
So you kind of mush it.
Yeah, it usually cuts into the rind too far, or you cut too much off.
So he's our resident fruitologist, Kent Neitzert.
Yeah, that's a fruity kind of a guy.
Today we want to talk about a different area. Invasive plants.
Yeah, invasive plants. Now, native plants have a lot of advantages when you plant them. Mother Nature has, over hundreds of thousands of years, decided which plants grow best in Michigan. Our native state tree, the white pine tree, is a beautiful tree to plant. It is pretty much immune to most diseases and insects, so we don't have to worry about that problem. We have lots of nice oak trees, tulip trees, all of those kind of trees, and smaller understory trees and perennials and things. We run into problems sometimes when we try to, it's not nice to fool Mother Nature kind of thing. We brought, in the 1830s, the U.S. government introduced a tree from Asia called the autumn olive as a food source for wildlife, and it's a great food source. It has lots and lots of bright red berries on it. The problem is it's very invasive. Those seeds germinate rather easily in almost any soil, and the plant tends to take over an area where it's at and crowd out all other existing vegetation, so you don't have a variety of vegetation, and all of a sudden you lose the variety of plants and of animals and birds that are there. And so the autumn olive is a plant that is prohibited for sale in Michigan. In the early 30s, 1930-ish, the U.S. government brought kudzu in as a plant that they thought would control erosion. And again, it did a fairly good job of that, a way too good a job of it. I've seen pictures in the Mid-South where kudzu took over a farmstead, and the kudzu grows up over the top of trees. It grows up over the top of barns. It'll grow over the top of an old tractor sitting out in the lawn, and it just takes over everything. And again, that's a plant that we need to be careful of. Luckily, it's not hardy enough to be this far north, but it tends to work its way up. One of the plants we have in our area is purple loosestrife, and you will see it in wet areas. It's a very pretty lavender flower, but again, it is so invasive. If you get it in an area, it grows so much better than any of the competitors that it takes over. And again, you have a monoculture of a plant there, and we lose that diversity of plant material that attracts different animals and birds and insects. So again, it is a plant that's prohibited for sale and distribution in the state of Michigan. Some plants that we used to, I think maybe 8 or 10 years ago, we were selling them is water hyacinth and water lettuce for people to put in their ponds. Again, an invasive plant that is no longer legal to sell or distribute in Michigan. So there are a lot of those out there. Giant hogweed is one that has come in, and I've heard talked about maybe in the last 5 or 6 years. It grows about 6 or 8 feet tall. It looks very similar to Queen Anne's lace in the flower, but it's a lot bigger. And one of the problems with it is that the sap of that plant is very harmful to people. You get it on there, and you're very susceptible then to sun. If it gets on your skin, you get a heavy rash. So if you happen to get tied up with hogweed, the recommendation is stay out of the sun and see a physician or see a doctor.
Interesting. Kent Neitzert in the garden with us this morning talking invasive ants. We'll talk more about those plants coming up.
When you have an occasion to buy flowers, does where you shop make a difference? Well, if knowledgeable sales personnel, quality of product, and value for the dollars you spend are important to you, then it's important you make Neitzert's Greenhouse and Florist your florist. Whatever the occasion, wherever you need to send flowers, call Neitzert's at 278-4148 and let them take care of your order. They'll handle your needs with a personal and professional touch and stand behind the work to your satisfaction. Call Neitzert's today or stop out on Fisk Road, 1/2 mile south of US 12, and see if you don't agree that there is a difference, and the difference is Neitzert's.
This is In the Garden with Kent Neitzert, brought to you by Neitzert's Greenhouse and Florist. So you've told us about a bunch of those different plants. If you find those in your landscape, you find those in your forest.
Yeah, I would try to get rid of them if you can.
How do you get rid of them, though?
Well, they're not. I don't know about the giant hogweed. Herbicides probably would control it. You probably could protect yourself with clothing, long sleeve shirts, gloves, and get eradicated that way. A lot of it's just taking a brush hog like autumn olive. They go in with a brush hog and just chop those areas down. I had a lady come in this week that had a weed coming up in her lawn, and she wanted to know what it was. Well, what it was their neighbor had a locust tree that they cut down and had the stump ground out, and all the roots from a locust tree then go, well, we better grow
somewhere else.
We better start growing because we need a top to feed us. So all those roots that are all the way out around the tree started sprouting, and sprouts of that locust tree are coming up all around. Well, And the way to get rid of it, actually, in that case, it's in a lawn. Just mow it, because that tree can't, those roots cannot survive forever without a food source. And if you keep cutting the top off of it, you eventually kill it. Now, the best way, if you're cutting a tree down and you want to make sure it dies, is to just take full strength Roundup and paint the stump, the fresh cut. It absorbs enough of that Roundup. Well, most trees that I'm familiar with, it absorbs that Roundup, takes it down into the root system and kills the plant. So that's a good way of doing it. If you're having trouble getting rid of plants, trees, and that sort of thing. So
That's interesting. I wouldn't even thought about that. The roots, again, that big tree coming to your neighbor's yard, but then
yeah, it was in the neighbor's yard, and the roots were in her yard, and now she's having problems with it. And
almost sounds like a
they
sci-fi
go
thing.
quickly. Yeah. I had, when I was younger, I planted a row of a plant called Sweet Rocket, and I had a row maybe 8 feet long, and it came up the first year, and it was a biennial, so it was just green the first year. Second year it came up and flowered really pretty flowers. Went to seed. I spent the next 20 years trying to get rid of it. So you need to just be careful when you put a plant in. There are perennial bamboos and perennial grasses that just grow viciously out into wherever you want to go. So if you're using those, you got to make sure that you've thought ahead, and you're going to have a way of controlling those plants later on. That's one of the advantages of planting annuals, in that they're only there 1 year and you have to put them back every year.
All right. Thanks for the melon. Wonderful stuff. During the week, catch him at the greenhouse, and maybe he's got some melons there too. Thursday mornings, you catch him here on the radio. Kent Neitzert in the garden.
Out in my garden, it's a lovely place to go. Out in my garden, watching nature grow. My garden is the place I go to let my troubles go. So let's go in the garden and see what we should know.